As properties are bought and sold here in Mecklenburg County, deeds are filed with the Register of Deeds office to transfer ownership from the grantor to the grantee. Some of those deeds are considered straight transfers, meaning one parcel transferred to a new owner, while some are considered splits, meaning one parcel becomes multiple parcels, typically as part of a new development. The deed information goes from the Register of Deeds office to Land Records, a part of Louisa. Land Records updates the maps and enters the new ownership information directly into the County Assessor's database. They also provide our office with the sales data from those market transactions. Code enforcement, also with Louisa, will process building permit information for both residential and commercial construction. The County Assessor's office receives the building permit information electronically from Louisa. These permits create work orders for the appraisal staff in the County Assessor's office. Appraisers gather all their field work and bring it back to the County Assessor's office, where the assessment analyst team complete the data entry of the work. After completion, the appraiser does a final review of the property record to ensure that the information is correct on the assessment. This is considered natural growth that occurs every year. In the revaluation cycle, our office analyzes the sales data delineating neighborhoods for our appraisals and valuing properties within each neighborhood. A tax neighborhood is similar to a realty term, market area. My office prepares records on the total valuation for the year, and I then meet with the Office of Management and Budget's Budget Director, Michael Bryant, to work on projections for the next year.
OMB utilizes the total valuation projections to determine how much revenue will be generated to support county services in the next fiscal year. The valuation represents over 60% of total revenue utilized to support county services, such as social services, public health, and education. Other revenue sources, such as sales tax and fees for services, balance out the remaining 40% of revenue. The difference in the total revenue projection the next fiscal year and the prior year represents the growth revenue available to support the manager's recommended budget. The growth revenue is the amount that is typically communicated to the board, residents, and our funding partners. Now that revenue estimates are in, the next step is to determine the cost to provide services in the next fiscal year. We start the process by gathering public input. Then, department heads, nonprofits, and our funding partners submit budget requests to OMB. OMB compiles, reviews, and analyzes all of the requests and shares them with the county manager. In most instances, the total amount of requests exceeds the growth revenue available. The manager begins evaluating funding requests and all competing needs based on the amount of growth revenue available to support her initiatives, board priorities, and community interests. The manager presents her recommendation in the spring to the board for their consideration. In a revaluation cycle, the budget process is the same. However, OMB will use the new assessed values to calculate property tax revenue and to provide a revenue-neutral rate for comparison. A revenue-neutral rate is the county's property tax revenue based upon the new assessed valuation. In a revaluation where values are going up, the new rate would be lower. The manager's recommended budget is the board's starting point for adopting the annual budget, which sets the property tax rate. The property tax rate determines the amount of a resident's tax bill for the next year. When residents receive their tax bills, they'll also find an insert that illustrates how the county portion of the tax bill is appropriated.